Welcome to the Feast Life, where we empower you, the modern homeschool mom, to create a life and homeschool you love. One founded on faith, family, freedom, and fun. I'm your host, Julie Ross, creator of the award-winning homeschool curriculum, A Gentle Feast, and a certified Christian life coach. For more information on today's episode and to access my free gift for you, check out thefeastlife.me. Charlotte Mason once said, "Life should be all living, not a mere tedious passing of time." So on this show, we seek to savor the feast of life. Girl, grab your favorite beverage and pull up a chair. You are welcome at this table. Hey, Julie Ross here. Thanks for joining me today. Today is a special episode of The Feast Life. I am interviewing some families who have found the gentle path of homeschooling and broke free from our traditional educational model. So if you haven't listened to last week's episode, The Gentle Path, make sure you listen to that. But I thought it'd be good to hear from some other families about what their journey and experience is like, because no two families are alike. So join me today for this enlightening conversation. I would like you to hear from some other moms who have chosen this path, this gentle path, this different approach to homeschooling, and what their experience has been like. So let me stop sharing. And Tammy and Jamie, if you could hold your hands up. Oh, I see you, Jamie. Hi. All right. So Jamie's going to come on here first. Hey, Jamie.
Hey,
Thank you so much for being willing to talk to us.
absolutely. I just think this has been great. I'm actually on the verge of tears. I'm just
Oh,
so excited just to get, we're at the end of our school year, I think. So it's like a lot of just emotions of ending and ending well. And these are great reminders of where I started 4 years
thank
ago.
you. Yes, that's what I really wanted, because I know there's a lot of people here who have been, okay, I've been walking this gentle path, but girl, it's so easy to like, oh, look over here and what they're doing. And oh, look over here. Then you get off the path and you're in the woods and you're like, can someone tell me how to get back
Bring it
there?
back.
Yeah. Yeah. So good. So I'm so glad to hear it's been encouraging. So anyway, I would just love to hear from you, like just your kids, the ages, but just how your homeschool journey has evolved and what has come into your lives the past
Yes,
several years.
absolutely. Okay, I have three boys, and they are currently 13, 11, and 9. And we just started homeschooling 4 years ago. And I also work full time. So when I say homeschool is a calling for me, there's no doubt to that. I just leaped one day, and it's actually before COVID. So you could do the math, that's
Yeah.
2020, but that's not the reason we started homeschooling. It was right before that. And I had no idea who Charlotte Mason was.
Yeah.
It was literally a Google search. How can I homeschool? I needed flexibility. That was my thing. It was my keyword, maybe
Wow.
flexibility
Wow.
in
That's awesome.
homeschooling.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it popped, and all the different styles of homeschooling, because I did not know there was another way to learn. So I started reading and was just so intrigued about this learning through living books. And this is someone I would not call myself a reader,
Okay.
because I feel like public school killed my joy of reading.
Yes.
And if you do the math also, my oldest was in public school. So he
Yeah.
went all the way through to fourth grade.
Okay.
And they had something called accelerated reader, but
Yep.
basically
I
you
remember
read a
that.
book
Yep.
and you pick it from the library, and sometimes not the best of topics, but read it from the library, read it, take a test on it the next day. So what happened for him was his reading ability went above his comprehension level. And then he had started failing these tests because he couldn't comprehend what he was reading. It
Yeah.
would kill his reading, was associated with anxiety. So anyway,
Yeah. Huge.
we're home now. We embraced the Charlotte Mason philosophy.
Okay,
And
that's amazing. I did not know that was your story, that you literally found it in a Google search.
yes,
That is so amazing.
I was
Yeah, back when
camping,
I started,
spring
like
break weekend.
there was like Yahoo groups. So literally I had no clue how to find this stuff or where to get it or how to grow. So I think it's awesome that it's now like available and for everyone. That's so cool. And I love what you said too about it's different when you're pulling your kids out of school for sure. And you're taking them from a very traditional to, okay, now we're going to walk down this path. What was that kind of like for you, that transition, if you don't mind talking about it?
I jumped. Like I just felt there was something in me. I was just ready. I'm like, we're doing this. And that's what I'm so thankful to have found, which I don't want to call a general feast a curriculum. I have found a partner, I feel like, in my child's education because it provides me with a structure yet flexible. And that
Mhm.
I feel like Charlotte Mason's way of learning is that you take these wonderful books and you having lesson plan or having a teacher's manual for me with the Gentle Feast is great because it I don't have to do anything. I literally buy books, thrift shop my books, and I told you guys that I wasn't a reader. I don't know who these authors are. I've never heard of these books. Like I've
Yeah.
never read Little House. I've never.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're just going to dive in and we're going to read these books. I don't know what they are. I don't. And what is this living book idea? I love it. I'm not sure what it is, but it has been so amazing. Over the 4 years, I have children at different ages reading different books, but the ideas that they get, the connections that we all get for reading the same type of topics for the same time period,
Okay.
has the discussions we have has
Mm.
been so amazing to just to watch them grow, to take ownership of that knowledge. The idea of
Mm.
narrating
Yeah.
was completely new to me so that they can take that. I can have the same kid reading the same book and they both give me different narrations. So it's no longer that this is what you have to know. I
Yep.
didn't do anything. I gave them a book
Yeah.
and they read it and they came to me and each one of them took what they needed to know. And if that was a paradigm shift for me that I'm not having to pour information into them, you have to know this, but they're telling me what they learned and they own
Mm.
that
Yeah.
education. So that was the shift for me to answer your question of going from that typical
Yeah.
homeschool method to them taking ownership and learning what they need to know.
Yes, and that's okay. And that's what we're going to talk a lot about tomorrow, kind of like the role of the teacher and the student and then the work that they're doing. But I love that they're making it their own. They're putting it into their own words
Mhm.
and they are able to tell it to you. So then they actually do know it. It's not like they're going to learn it to answer some questions and then they'll forget about it by the end of the week. Okay, everyone is asking how you are able to work in homeschool.
So the short answer to that is short lessons.
Yes, yes, which is so key, which we're going to talk about tomorrow too, because that is so radically different than like a traditional path. It's like you have the subject for 2 hours a day at some of the high schools around me, the way they structure stuff. And it's,
And
yeah,
it's the just it was doing this for 4 years, so it's just my kids have gotten used to here's what you know they have a little notebook. Here's what you do for the day, and they know. I mean, their language arts is we do this day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they just know what to do. I don't know. I can't explain it. It just happened. You
yeah,
here go read these chapters. They do it on their own. I'm not having to stand in front of them and hold their hands. I'm not telling you it's been all easy because they have bad days. I have bad days. Um, there's some learning happens all the time, guys. It's not just Monday through. That was huge for me.
so
Monday
yes,
through Friday. What I don't
yeah,
know, 8:30 to 2:30. When I have my lunch break, hey guys, let's go to the porch and let's
mhm,
read.
yeah,
Right now, I'm tearing up of all the cycles, all the history books, like current history picture books I'm reading with my younger child.
yeah.
I'm learning
Are you in
history.
cycle 4?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why. All those World War II books and like,
uh, yes. And so I just take moments, little moments here and there. Let's go read this book. We read it audiobooks when they're transitioning between reading on their own to reading to them. That's just and getting them used to taking ownership of what they're learning. And they're so excited to tell me back what they have learned. That's
that's awesome.
yeah, it's
That
just
is
short.
great. That's
That's
what you
how I
want,
do
right?
it. We do
Yeah.
school on the weekends sometimes. I don't know what to call it school. We learn on the weekends
Yes.
too. We read on the weekends. We read in the evenings. We
Yeah.
also have a small hobby farm. I guess we have baby goats being born right now too. So it's
Oh,
like
so
a lot of juggling, but they read to the goats. They
that is awesome. Do the goats sit on them? Like I've seen that with people, they're on someone's back.
Good yoga. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
go,
yeah.
go.
All you gotta do is just lay down and they'll jump on you.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. But they're learning so much, I bet, from taking care of all those animals. I didn't know you had animals. That is so fun. That's
Mhm.
great. Yes, because it's not like you can only learn if you're reading this book. and looking at this page. No, like learning, I'm out here doing these things, which are such more valuable lessons, and taking care of an actual living creature that is so valuable. Do you have any closing thoughts or words of encouragement for parents on making that leap, as you call it, from the traditional path to the gentle path?
Just do it. I don't know.
Like
If
Nike, right?
yes, that's right. There is a stirring inside of me. And so some of you on here may be just, you're interested in this, you're just getting started, but you just know there's something different out there. I had no idea the beauty that there was going to be with learning with my children
Mm-hmm.
through the living books,
Yeah.
through this idea of them attaining knowledge. And I got to know my kids again. I got
Mm-hmm.
to have them back, if that makes sense. They weren't,
Yes.
even if you're doing, I think, maybe a traditional homeschool, even if they weren't in public, they were in front of workbooks, checking the box, but getting them, that has just been so encouraging for me to see my kids grow on who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I look back with zero regrets.
Yeah, that's what you're going to look back on again, having adult children now. I can say that it's those relationships and all those memories and all those books and all those ideas and all those discussions. And
Hmm.
like that relationship doesn't change. Like that will still be there when they're grown and they're calling you on the phone. And my daughter will be like, Mom,
Yes.
I just read this book, and she wants to narrate it to tell me about it.
Hmm.
And I'm like, cool is that? Like a 20-something-year-old wants to tell me about the book they're reading. And it becomes part of your life and your family culture, which is so cool.
Yeah, and I have one more thing I want to
Yes.
comment on. You mentioned in the class earlier, I also feel like I've healed that child from public school, the education. I wrote it down where I listened to the podcast that you had about my love of learning had
Mm-hmm.
died.
Yeah.
As I'm healing my relationship with knowledge or learning, is that I'm not
Yeah.
sure how you put it. It for me, not just my children, learning, I'm becoming a lifelong learner, and I think that sets an example for them.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
And my dad, who's 80 years old, who's a history buff, and I had no idea. I call him. I'm like, hey, I'm learning about the Cold War. Can you tell me about? And he's like, I'm not that old. And then we get into civil rights, and we're in Birmingham, Alabama. And
Oh, wait, Jamie, I lost you. Hold on. Sorry. Where'd you go?
hey, hey,
Okay, thanks.
but just say my dad too, just getting to where he can share his history with me and the
History.
love of history that's been a blessing too. Just conversations with people that I've never would have had before had I not
Mm.
taken on this love of learning with my kids.
Yeah, and I thank you so much for bringing that up, because I think that's so key, is just how valuable it is for us as humans. Because this is how all humans learn, and this is how we actually really do grow. And so it doesn't matter if you are 7 or 47, like this will grow and change you at the same time it's growing and changing your kids. And that's just such a beautiful thing. So thank you for making that comment. I really appreciate it. And thank you for talking to us. It's so good
Thank
to see
you.
you. I appreciate it. Today's episode is brought to you by A Gentle Feast. A Gentle Feast offers a complete living books curriculum, an award-winning early reading program, and more tools to equip you to apply Charlotte Mason's timeless philosophy into your modern homeschool. Go to agentlefeast.com to check it out. Smooth and easy days are closer than you think. All right, Tammy is going to come talk to us too. And I know you've been really active in the chat, Tammy. You're amazing. Tammy, can you unmute yourself, or can I find you?
Yes.
Yes, hi.
So I don't know, you have a
Good to
specific
see you.
question you want me
Perfect.
to answer, or?
Well, yeah, just if you want to share, like tell us about your kids, your homeschool journey, that'd be fantastic.
Okay, so I have 4 kids, ages 5 to 15 right now, which feels crazy. I just told our friend, let's say, I'm like, I've been homeschooling for 10 years now. That feels like a big number. So my middle 2 have learning disabilities, dyslexia. They're 10 and 13 right now. I've been homeschooling from the start, but my background is actually teaching, mostly in a private Christian school that was very traditional, very college prep. That's how I grew up, also in a very traditional college prep high school or school growing up. And so when we decided to homeschool, I just knew I didn't want that. So basically anything traditional, anything like you said that was created and designed for schools, I was like, nope, I know I don't want that. That was my starting point.
Yeah. And I think some of us, like from teaching backgrounds, are like, okay, I've been in this world and I know this is not it. There's something else.
Yeah, like I felt I did well in school, but I felt bored and I just it was very I was good at the test and dump thing, but I didn't feel like that was a really great way to educate. So I started with a more classical approach, but it got into that traditional rat race thing because it was like memorize this stuff.
Mhm.
And my first kid was very bookish. He wanted to sit down and do the workbooks. He wanted to memorize things. He was good at it. So it kind
Gotta
of
love those
worked.
firstborns.
Yeah. And it was just because I was awesome, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it worked.
absolutely.
So, and then I started just not being satisfied with pumping memory work into him, having him dump it. I was like, okay, even if we don't totally dump it, he remembers it. What's the point? This isn't
Yeah.
fun. This isn't it without having the Charlotte Mason terminology. I had this sense that it wasn't honoring my kids as people. And I mean, they were impressed. My oldest was impressive. He could recite the stuff, and it was like the party trick thing. I think Cindy Rollins uses that term in Mere Motherhood, but I just wasn't satisfied with it. So I started trying to flesh out our memory work with living books, not knowing the term, never having heard of Charlotte Mason before. I think my oldest was second grade when I heard of Charlotte Mason. I'd only heard her name in homeschool circles in a really negative way. Oh, those Charlotte Mason people, they only want to memorize things that are beautiful. There's practical things kids should memorize, which I mean, it wasn't a fair assessment, but like, oh,
Right.
Charlotte Mason people are snobs. That's what I heard. Charlotte Mason people are snobs. They think they're too good for normal education. So I didn't know what Charlotte Mason did teach, but I was definitely
You're
like,
yeah.
yeah, that's not my style. But then I started hearing, I don't know where I first read it or whatever, but like terms like living books. And I was just looking at the library for books that fit in with our stuff we were memorizing. And I come home with just stuff that was, to use the Charlotte Mason term, twaddle. And I wasn't snobby about it. I was just reading it and I was like hating it. As I'm reading this out loud, I'm just like, this is not interesting, or
Yeah.
this just seems dumb. But I didn't know how to find good books on those topics. And then I don't know where I first heard what Charlotte Mason really was all about and started reading it. And I was like, this, yes. And it wasn't as much like I was getting my philosophy from her, even though that's happened too. It was more like this resonates with what I felt in my heart of hearts I really wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just started hodgepodging some of my own stuff together. I like created these morning time plans at the beginning of the year with like a hymn and different and passage we were going to recite. And I'm just like this start strong and fizzle person. That's my tendency in every area. And here I am in my mid 40s. I'm finally learning to go with that and realize that's how I am. We did that same morning time thing that I thought was going to be for the first month all year because I never had it in me to create another one. And I started looking into some Charlotte Mason resources, and I was just overwhelmed with how much I felt like I still had to figure out on my own. And reading 6 volumes that are this thick each, I just couldn't do that year. And then I came across a Gentle Feast, and I just don't do well adding a lot of new stuff all at once. So we just added the morning time to what we were loosely already doing. And I just expanded the schedule a little bit that I wasn't rushed. We weren't forcing the memory work, but we used what we were already using as our framework and just got my sea legs under me with the morning time. And I was like loving that so much more in some of the discussions. And as we started doing narrations and incorporating some of the books just from the morning time list, I was really finding my joy with homeschooling. And this sounds horrible, but I'm a Christian and my husband's a pastor. And one of the main reasons we started homeschooling was for faith-based reasons. But I was not good about doing Bible with my kids because it just felt like so much work to use a curriculum. And I wasn't good with it. We would read a Bible storybook a little bit and sing some songs. And then when I got the morning time plans, that we're just reading scripture and talking about it and we're singing hymns, it was a delight instead of something that felt like a burden. And then my little ones that weren't being officially homeschooled, it was funny because like they still, my 5-year-old now, there's a 5-year gap. Her next oldest sibling is 10. She doesn't really know all the like little kid songs, but she knows the doxology. And I don't think that's a bad thing. And so she's grown up with it. So I'm a tweaker for better or for worse. And the longer I've used Charlotte Mason methodology, which is like 7 years now, and a Gentle Feast specifically is what we've used. I say as our spine, and I love the freedom that Julie gives. Not that anybody has to shackle me or free me, but I feel the freedom in the community and from Julie
Yeah.
specifically with, okay, use this as it benefits you. It's a feast. We don't force feed. And we
Yep.
never do all the things.
Yep.
We don't do it exactly as scheduled. And I feel more freedom and comfort with finding living books. Jamie mentioned, I don't know about this book. I have a background in teaching high school language arts,
Yeah.
and I never got a really good book list. I really read a lot of twaddle growing up and even through high school and college. But I feel more adept at picking out living books and figuring out age appropriate and
Yeah.
developmentally.
Yep. Of
My kids
course.
are each
Yeah.
individuals. My dyslexic kids do a lot of audiobooks and they're learning to read, and we're using programs for that. But they love literature. They have excellent vocabulary and they love ideas, and they are actually reading. Their ear reading is still reading, and they read for fun, and they're reading quality books. And they're doing this outside of the required time. So I feel like I'm seeing some of the fruit of that as far as them owning their education. I also work part-time online. I've done website content writing, and now I tutor online in the afternoon. So I feel like some of this discussion was really helpful because I can kind of feel bad that I don't have all the one, especially across four that are so different in their levels. I do like their math and language arts with them, but a lot of it they do on their own. And I check their narrations and I look at their stuff. I write it out. Julie's encouraged in a podcast, like at the beginning of the week, and then fill in with stuff based on how well they understood a math concept or whatever. But they're doing a lot of it on their own,
Yeah.
and they're learning to really own it, which is cool.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love this so much. Everyone's telling you, thank you so much for sharing. And some people asked if they could ask you some questions offline. So I think that might be a good, I know you are in the Facebook group, but that I'll totally leave that up to you. I'm going to make sure I'm not hearing people again. But just want to highlight a few things you said. Here, I'm going to hit mute all, Tammy, and then can you go back on? Because I hear people coming in. That, Tammy, are you back on?
I think so.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. To you, just to contrast. So Jamie's, yeah, like I just took a leap in the deep end here. I'm doing all of Charlotte Mason, like all of her approach. We're changing everything. And then you were like, I've already been homeschooling. I've been doing a different approach. I'm just going to like tiptoe in. And I love that it's not, again, it's not standardized. So just like the education you're providing isn't standardized for your kids, the way homeschool moms go to this more gentle path, it's completely different too. We get to choose that, right? And we get to go along. So I love that you highlighted that. And I love that you're like making it your own too. And I'm going to touch on this when we talk about going along this path. Eventually it's going to grow and expand. And as you grow and expand as a homeschool mom and in your confidence and in your knowledge and like what you're exposed to and your kids are growing and changing, that's the way it should be, right? That you are becoming a different person and your Charlotte Mason talks about the room that we have our feet in, right? It keeps getting bigger and bigger alongside them. So the path isn't like this the whole time. It continually widens and grows. And so I love that you highlighted that and shared that. And then are just that you're seeing the fruit of that. And it wasn't like it took a week. So you've been doing this for 7 years now. And it's okay. Wow. Look at all the things that are happening and the way my kid can do their work independently and their vocabulary and the things that they're learning. It's not put this in and then tomorrow you get XYZ out. It's this, again, slow growing, like nurturing of a plant, and that we get to see it. And we might not see it right away. It might be years or something that they come later in their
And it's
lives.
also that growth is so different for each individual
Yes.
kid. My firstborn, like I said, he's wired a lot like me. He's very bookish. And my next kid is not. They are absolutely, everybody comments and knows them, like, how are they even in the same family? It makes it really interesting right now. But like my first, he wanted to do more Shakespeare than I was playing. And I'm like, okay. And there's this online Shakespeare read along thing we've done. And my next one, like I know he's not he's not as into the bookwork, but the handcrafts, he loves carving. And I don't know much about it. I don't have rustic tools. We don't. And I found this like spoon carving group locally, and it was for 18 and up that there was a class.
That's so cool.
There was for 18 and up, but I was like the squeaky wheel mom that I'll sign whatever waiver. Like if he chops his hand off, I promise I won't sue you. Can you just do this? And it was just like something I learned to appreciate. Like this is an artisan. This is an expert artisan willing to share his craft. This is an awesome experience. And he rose to that challenge. And the other adults in the class were impressed with him, and that made him feel like $1,000,000. And I just like that illustration of what is it? The stage your feet are set in, or what?
Yeah, the room. How big is the room upon which your feet are set?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's so expansive, and we've taken trips and I feel like just keeping the education, it's not like that test and dump stuff. We school year round, partially just out of survival mode, and I don't want to do the summer slide, but we do 4 days a week most of the year because my husband has Fridays off. And then we still it keeps our sanity to keep a school routine. And my kids don't miss summer vacation because we've always done it this way, just because I feel like educationally it's better that we retain a couple mornings a week in the summer. But we go on trips, and we have living books that relate it, and they're enjoying learning, and they're not burnt out on it that they feel like they need 3 months off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they'll sometimes just mirror their public school peers and be like, oh, school's horrible. My one daughter, she has a similar age peer at church that goes to school, and she was like, Mom, is it weird or bad that I don't hate school? And I'm like, ooh. And she's so and so says like they just hate it, and it's just so much work, and they're always whatever. And I don't feel that way at all. And I forget what illustration her friend used, but if you had to pick like what you feel like school is, and it's not like there's tons of bells and whistles, trust me. But she's just, I feel like it's like an amusement park or a park where there's always interesting things going on and to learn. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and that's not every day, but once in a while they're given glimmers of that they're delighting in education, even if they don't like having to do certain tasks.
Of course not. They're humans, right? Yeah. We all don't like doing certain things, but they're still delighting and learning, and they're still growing in their knowledge, and that is so cool. That is awesome. Thank you so much for chatting with us. I really appreciate your wisdom, and everyone here is really grateful for you and what you shared as well. Hey there, Julie Ross here. I just wanted to say thank you for listening to today's episode. If you like this show, it would mean the world to me if you would leave a positive review in iTunes. This really does help people learn about the podcast. And each month I will pick a winner to receive a free gift. Don't forget to check out all the free resources we created for you at thefeastlife.me. Thank you.